Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here, and welcome to Civilization 6, where we're going to do something a little bit different. Today we're going to be playing a nice old game. Now, I did actually create a setup here using the Gaunt Lakes mod. If you want to see any of the mods that I use, go ahead and check the description. And if you're a Patreon, or a patron on Patreon, you can go ahead and just get my save files. They're uploaded there after every series. But if you are curious, I will scroll through the options that I set here if you want to make the exact same game as me using the Gaunt Lakes map mod. However, it will require you to pause the video and write things down yourself. Now, I did actually already make the game because I wanted to reveal the map to get a really nice thumbnail for YouTube, but I have not studied this extensively. All I know is this, turn 1. Okay, domestic trade. So I decided I wanted to play a little bit of PotatoMcWhiskey today. And the reason that I wanted to play PotatoMcWhiskey is because, you know, just the terrace farms are really fun to work around. And also, I kind of wanted to try out doing a sort of tall build and looking into what we could do there. But you're starting off in a pretty interesting location. If I had to guess, using, you know, camera rotation holding down Alt. Let's see, do I see any jungle? No, I can't see any jungle and I can't see the edges of the map. So I would guess we're either towards the north or the south of the map, but not particularly far. This is a really big map with maxed out civilizations on it. And to be specific on that front, that is 12 civs. So let's have a little bit of a think about how we want to open this game. I definitely feel like there is potential here for a couple campuses. Although there is something to be said when you're playing PotatoMcWhiskey, they can actually work mountain tiles, which does work really well with preserves because the preserve building, the grove, adds +2 food, +2 faith, and +2 culture to adjacent unimproved breathtaking tiles, which includes mountains. So you can do a really cute mountain play and get a very, very powerful load of tiles here. I could get 2 tiles that make what? 2 food, 2 production, 2 faith, and 2 culture pretty early into the game, which, I mean, preserves are pretty expensive, all things considered, because you have to pay for the district and then you have to get the grove, and it doesn't produce anything until you get the grove. But then it does produce like food, faith, and culture, which I guess is kind of somewhat in line. It doesn't make any great people, which makes this maybe not ideal. But I do like the idea of going for a great scientist here, or an early campus is. Oh, for some reason I don't have the real great people mod installed. Let me quickly fix that. Okay, so I should have the real great, yeah, here we go. And I was particularly looking for great scientists, because if we're going to try to do any sort of tall build, there are a couple of like really cool great scientists. For example, Ibn Khaldun, who gives you non-food yield benefits of happiness, a big bonus, which means if we focus on having a really high amenity empire, we can get some pretty good multipliers. So I do think playing in a tall fashion opens with either religion or an early campus to get great scientists. I do like the idea of opening with a campus. And since I'm also going to be playing tall, I need to consider carefully where I'm going to be placing my capital. Now, the thing about geothermals, I believe, I can't remember if settling, can you even settle on a geothermal? Does it disappear? All right, we're going to do a little bit of science here. I need to double check. Can you settle on a geothermal fissure? And does it disappear then afterwards? Okay, you can settle on a geothermal fissure. It's just like I do it so rarely that it's hard for me to remember. And the reason I needed that bit of information is because I need to make a decision about where I'm going to actually put my capital. Sorry, I know I've reloaded the first turn here a few times, but sometimes what you got to do is you got to kind of explore the different angles. Now, I haven't actually paid attention to the scouting info that I got there. I'm not trying to, like, you know, cheat or whatever. I am just trying to think about where exactly do I want to put my capital city? Do I want to actually put it on top of this, which does mean I can't put the preserve there. I do feel like in range of this capital city, if I move over here, I lose a plantation, and especially important, the plantation goes out to be a 3rd ring tile. If I stay in place, I get a 2 food, 2 production tile underneath my capital. If I move down here, I get more 2 food, 2 production tiles in range immediately. But I think in terms of planning out this city, I really like the idea of a campus on one of these 2 tiles, and I don't think it matters in particular. One thing that would also be nice to get in the city, if we are going to grow it tall, is to get the aqueduct and also plan around the terrace farms, because they get +2 production for each adjacent aqueduct district. They also get extra production if they're adjacent to a river and to not an aqueduct. I'm just doing a little bit of intel gathering here while we figure out exactly how we want to develop ourselves. Now these give you +1 food and +1 housing and +1 food for each adjacent mountain tile. So what if I were to move onto the geotherm? What if I were to put an aqueduct here? I settle my city here. Then adjacent to this aqueduct, I do 2 terrace farms because they get a bunch of extra food. I'm going to scout this. Okay. So I am committing to this decision. I do like this decision. And we could, if we wanted to, in fact, surround this entire aqueduct with terrace farms and have extremely good growth and production in the very, very early game, because I'm pretty sure terrace farms are unlocked super early. When are terrace farms unlocked? Are they unlocked from the get-go? I think they might actually be unlocked from the get-go. An early builder could be good. I do really want a campus. Now there is something to be said for the fact that I also want to get an industrial zone. Well, at some point this game, it would be nice to get an industrial zone here. But how early we can get that is not clear. But I think this is at least okay early opening. And we can sort of start to develop our strategy based around this. So I am going to go ahead and move on to this geotherm and settle it, because that will end us up with an extra +1 science per turn right off the bat, which will hopefully get us to riding faster. If you're wondering, by the way, why my pins have numbers on them, it's because I'm using the mod called Detailed Map Tax here, which you can find in the link. In the description of this video, you'll find a link to the mod pack that I use. I call it a mod pack. It's just a collection on Steam of like other people's mods that I've put together into a single thing that just my own personal list of mods. Now, we are going to go ahead and work this 2 food, 2 production tile because we want our capital to grow and we also want the production. And if we kind of compare, let me press Shift and S to hide these pins using this mod, is if we look at the options of tiles that we have here to work, we have either 2 food and 1 production tiles or 1 food and 2 production tiles. And I think the opening move for us should actually be either a builder or a monument. And the question is, how quickly do we want to get to this settler card? I actually think this could be a really strong builder first game, because the return on investment on this builder is exceptionally high. Because if we look at the value of this tile, let's get rid of the aqueduct so we're not getting false value here. That would turn this into a 4 food 2 production tile and this into a 3 food 2 production tile, which are some of the best tiles you can get at this phase of the game. So I am going to go ahead and grab myself builder first and try to get these 3 tiles improved immediately to try to kickstart my economy. We're going to open with pottery as well. We want to get granaries to get the extra housing to continue to pump our population up, but more importantly, we do want to get the early campus if we can. So hopefully that's kind of covering my opening strategy when it comes to build. Now, it is a bit of a cardinal sin not to get a scout, but it's also not the end of the world if you don't get a scout. And I'm hoping that I can clear this barb camp with my warrior before, that becomes an issue. So the trick to clearing a barb camp with a single unit is to attack it once, as I did, and then spend a little bit of time healing on your unit. Right, to bring the combat strength of the unit back up. We have met Poland. We will send them a sample of our hospitality. Now, I don't know how they met me, but that's fine. I'm going to move my warrior back a tile. And why I'm doing that is when this barbarian scout steps towards me, I'll be able to get an extra attack in on him. If/when he steps towards me, he may step in a different direction. So we do now have pottery. Let's go ahead and get writing. We met another civilization, so we can get a really fast campus this game. Okay, she's already denouncing me, which is annoying. This scout has lost sight of me, so he should step into the land adjacent to me, and I can attack him. And I can move this scout here to start getting this farm online. Since Poland has denounced me, I'm expecting an attack, so I'm going to get started on a slinger to defend myself. That seems necessary. This scout will step back to avoid me, and then it should move into a tile adjacent to me because it forgets that I'm here. It basically can't see me. Let's build the terrace farm. That's a +4 era score in the early game, potentially guaranteeing us a golden age. And we have a 4 food, 3 production tile, which is massively, massively productive. The terrace farm gives you +1 food and +1 food for each adjacent mountain, which is a total of +3 food over a normal plains hill. And it gives you +1 production, which is +1 production over a normal plains hill. So that's why this tile is so much better. And now to really talk about how much better this tile is compared to this tile, I want you to imagine every citizen in your empire, right? I have 2 citizens, 2 population, in the city of Cusco, okay? And they eat 2 food each. So you can see here I've got -4 food consumption -4. That's because 2 of my citizens are eating 2 food. That means for every tile that you are working, there is an invisible -2 food sitting in there. The exception is always your capital city, which is always 2 food and 1 production, plus whatever surplus resource was on the tile. So I settled on a geothermal fissure, so I get +1 science here. It's really, really nice. So that means this tile, right? Its profit, when you factor in the amount of food that this villager, this citizen eats, is 2 production, 1 faith. This tile's profit is 2 production. This tile's profit is 1 production. This stone tile is twice as good as this regular grassland hills tile. This dyes tile, like in terms of a production profitability, this dyes tile is so much better than the stone tile because it gets me faith, which can get me a pantheon. This tile here, this 4 food, 3 production, like first of all, let's try to compare this to a plains hill tile. So not only this tile's profit is literally 1 production. This tile's profit is 2 food, 3 production. That's insane of a comparison. This is literally 5 yields better. Like, it's insane. Is it 5 yields better or 4 yields better? 4 yields better. Whatever it is, it's 5 times better. That's the important thing. It's 5 times better. If we compare this to this has a profitability of -1 food plus 2 production, which is, interesting. So this is literally one of the best tiles you can get in the game at this phase of the game. I'm going to buy this tile as well because I want to place my worker on it next turn and get this farm up. I probably don't care too bad. I mean, getting a pantheon is nice, but I think the momentum of Pachacuti is all about getting these early high quality hill terrace farms out. I do need to kill this scout. I hate that I had to do it in that way. I'm expecting a war deck in the next turn or 2. I think standing here and fortifying is the move. And I think planting a terrace farm there is fine. Yeah, I was expecting the war deck, so there's nothing I could do to prevent that guy from getting caught. But that's fine. I'm going to fortify my warrior here. I have a slinger, and I'm going to get myself another slinger. I don't care too much about losing that builder, but this guy is fortified across a river in double defensive terrain. Double defensive terrain is a hill plus a forest or rainforest. Basically, woods or rainforest rather. Basically, fortification gives you +3 combat strength. Being across a river gives you +5 on the defense. Being in defensive terrain gives you +3 for each type. So a hill plus forest is +6, +11, +14. My guy right now has, if you look at this, ideal terrain, river defense, effectively plus just an absurd amount of defense. So he will take a little bit of damage here, but I can then promote him with the tortoise promotion, so he's extremely difficult to kill by ranged units, meaning this slinger does nothing to me, and then I can just slowly burn this slinger with my slinger. Now, we are also going to go ahead and take God King to guarantee, well, I think that we're going to take urban planning, because I don't care so much about getting my pantheon this game. I much more care about staying alive. And so I'm going to slowly work on Agog. It's annoying that this is the difficulty though when you're dealing with the AI and deity and you don't go a scout first build. So we got the campus, which is an important part of our play. We do also need to get to engineering, which will require mining plus a quarry plus ancient walls and to mine a resource. So we'll need to get this quarry online at some point in the future, which means another builder soon. And I also need to get my monument. It's all difficult. So look, he attacked me, but he did 11 damage, which my warrior can easily heal through. It's not even an issue. Now, he will pillage this farm, which sucks, but we did get to work it for a little while before he pillaged it. And you can see this guy is just fortified in extremely defensive terrain, and we get to get this kill. Not quite able to finish him off. That's fine. You stay fortified there. Your job is to absorb damage. I'm going to move the fresh slinger to the right. This slinger can only be attacked by 1 tile, which means they should win any 1v1s. And in order to secure a kill, I'm going to attack there. So when they move into the gap here, they'll be moving into a danger zone. I'm going to go ahead and get myself a 3rd slinger because 1 warrior and 3 slingers should be enough to defend against Poland. All right, let's kill this slinger as well. Perfect. We also have a promotion available on this slinger now. It's quite easy if you've got defensive terrain to defend against the AI, as long as you see it early enough and haven't walked your guy too far away from your city. Let's take the garrison promotion. So he attacks my slinger, no big deal. This slinger moves out. We get that kill. You heal. You stay fortified. Really want to build the campus right now. Kind of have to get the builder because I need to rush this aqueduct to build a nice big city. Also, I need scouts and stuff like that. So I really hate that this builder is escaping, but this should be a fairly easy kill for us. I'm going to look for the attack on you because that should promote you. And now I'll move down to see if I can fight off this barb camp. But yeah, I'm going to go builder into monument and then the campus. So let's place the campus. We're going to place the campus down, even though we're not going to build it yet, because every time you research a technology or civic, you make things more expensive. I'm going to take the volley promotion on the slingers that aren't staying inside the capital city, and I'll chase this builder home with this slinger, or chase the builder home with this slinger rather. Take a fortification turn, step forward there. I should have the advantage over the river. I'm in defensive terrain and across a river, so even if he attacks me, it's not the end of the world. I'm going to start sending my other slinger too, start doing a little bit of damage here because I know he wants to settle here. And I'll fortify this slinger on this tile because these guys coming at him should be no problem for him to handle while I move more units over here, because I don't want Poland to settle this city because it puts them a little bit too close to my capital. So I want to just push them back just a smidge, keep myself safe. Yeah, keep the slinger fortified on this tile to draw barbarians to attack the slinger, and that's working perfectly. 38 damage. I took 27, but I healed 10. Let's move this warrior this way. You attack him. Move this slinger this way. Unfortunately, the slinger is kind of up against the odds, but as long as you stay fortified here, you'll be fine. There's the damage. Okay, more barbs are spawning. It's all right, we can do a retreat. We need to hold this gap, and that's going to involve doing serious damage to this warrior. Another builder is coming out. Excellent. So I think we've driven Poland away from this location, and now we just need to scoot this way. Ideally, we would be building a campus right now. I think I actually just need another warrior to like fight my battles. So I'm going to fortify for a turn with this unit to increase our defense against these two fighters, and then I'll step back if I need to. I do not feel safe moving this guy. Okay, I was not expecting the kill. Did she get oligarchy? I was fortified and across a river. That was an amazing attack from her. But this is the kind of early game chaos you got to learn to like just battle your way through when you're playing Civ. Can I soften you up enough to guarantee the kill? It's not quite a guaranteed kill, but it is almost guaranteed. Okay, the slinger is honestly the biggest threat. And it looks like she managed to get that city there, so I'm just going to go into retreat. I wasn't able to prevent it, but that's okay. We can work on the campus now and start getting that online. Nice to meet you, Sejong. All right, let's counterattack. Actually, it looks like they are not pushing forward right now, so I might kind of try to shove back just nudge back towards them and see what they do. All right, let's move you to here. Let's cancel masonry research and instead put some time into wheel. You go ahead and shoot him. I do have a pantheon. Plantation culture isn't terrible. Quarry isn't bad either. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4 quarries in range of my capital. If I'm looking at the maths correctly, that's 4 quarries, which could be a decent faith income. The other option is to go for River Goddess if I do plan to go for holy sites at some point this game. I am going to be limited on tiles, depending on how I play. 2 amenities is sick though, so I think I'll just grab this prospectively. I don't actually care about getting a religion, so to speak. Everyone else can have it. I just super don't care. But I think having the option of getting 2 housing and 3 amenities from a district is pretty good, especially if that district also provides faith. Okay, we've got a huge invasion here, but that's exactly what my empire is like designed to fight. All right, let's go take this stone quarry. All right, we got our campus, and our goal was to play tall. So we need to get to 6 population. We can get that in 5 turns, and then we can start cranking out settlers with colonization. Let's get started on... We're going to need more units here, I think. I think that's really just what it comes down to, is like an extra warrior here would make a difference. Actually, I need an extra slinger so I can actually pass. I can use 3 of them to get machinery, which seems quite useful. Let's get the quarry there. We do want that. We've also got amazing tiles in our capital. 14 production capital is kind of insane at this point in the game. And the military that we build in these next few turns will actually stand to us for the rest of the game. I'm hoping Poland will piece me out. It looks like they don't want to, which is fine. Yongle is always insane. I hate, or Sejong rather, is always insane. I hate playing against him. He's a nightmare. Warrior can attack here, and if this guy attacks my warrior, I should be able to counter and dodge. So he attacked the way that I thought he would. So let's counter and dodge. This time I'm controlling the river. You fortified there. I'll step 1 slinger out sideways to form a defensive line. You never want to make an arc like this. You never want to build an arc. It's like Go, right? This is like stepping into my enemy's power zone. I want him to step into a zone where I'm more powerful. Let's grab another warrior. And it's honestly, it's fine that we're doing all these things. Honestly, I would absolutely prefer a much more peaceful early game, but it's fine. Let's take Tortoise. I do like Tortoise as a promotion because it makes your units really, really hard to kill. Unfortunately, I need to retreat this guy, but that's okay because depending on which unit steps up here, I should be able to get myself a promotion. Now, unfortunately, this is my garrison guy. You'll take too much damage, so I need to retreat. Can't let this scout attack this tile, so I do need to attack in a certain particular way and get rid of that scout. Because if my campus gets pillaged, it's, you know, doesn't feel good. I would have liked to have already had my library because that's great scientist points that are churning away from me that other people aren't getting. There's an unmet player who's getting 3 per turn, right? Like these things are really, really nice to have. I can't quite get either of these things, so I'm going to fortify, cancel the fortification, and then take the volley. That allows me to get a turn of fortification while also getting the promotion in. Okay, we got that kill. Let's take a turn for you to heal. And you're going to push into that defensive tile. You're going to have to immediately push back out of it, sadly. But it's okay. I think I would like to chop. These tiles are going to become hills, hill farms anyway, so I think chopping there is a completely hinged thing to do. Not unhinged, just hinged. Right, so we can do some damage there. Now let's push. Okay, there's Russia. Nice to meet you. All right, like this is like a bit of a Thunderdome start where there's a lot of battles going on. And honestly, we're super far behind, although we are kind of on par with Poland. But like if you compare to Sejong, who's the guy we got to beat, we're in bad shape. I don't like that the slinger is looping around to the edge. Let's go and we'll take early empire. Let me go ahead and chop to finish that library. Then we're going to take early empire. We're going to pop this out and we're immediately going to go into settlers. Now I'm going to have to kind of blind settle here because I haven't actually been able to see the cities I want. But I do know that the cities I want are in this kind of red area. I want cities. Well, actually, it's this kind of an area. Honestly, it's even smaller. I want to settle like a few cities inside this kind of a zone. I want the cities to be close enough to benefit from industrial zones in the late game. I will absolutely buy a builder when I have the gold to do so. I will sell my open borders for immediately cash to try and make that happen. You're going to step here to fight him. You're going to move this way. You're going to move to make moves on this guy. The spearman should step out and try to attack my slinger as I move the warrior in behind. In theory, that's how the AI for those work. Sadly, we did only get a normal age, so no golden age for us. It's not the end of the world. We are going to go ahead and take free inquiry, so we get +1 era score for constructing a building that provides science as a base yield. That is +1 era score right there. And also, every time we get a Eureka, which is, you know, doing one of these mission things, we will also get an era score, which is not so bad. I should probably unlock animal husbandry this turn, which I will because it's a 1-turn unlock. And I do need to build these ancient walls in order to boost the aqueduct. So that will probably be happening very soon. I don't have the Limes card yet, do I? No, that's not unlocked until defensive tactics, so I'll have to build without that. When you're going for a tall game, Pingala absolutely has to be the first guy you pick. There is no question, no ifs, ands, or buts. You got to go for Pingala, and you got to immediately get Connoisseur, like with all of your resources. You also got to plan your government plaza, which we have not yet done. Let's get a bit of damage on this warrior to see what we can do. Ooh, he's going for the kill. Delegation from Sejong, I'll take that. Wouldn't even be against declared friendships. This guy is double fortified and healing, and this guy's now dead because there's nothing he can do to salvage this position he's in. We can get this barb camp. At the very least, that's going to be some era score secured for ourselves. And we have got a really nice science push in our capital city. We definitely want a builder. So I'm going to immediately get one because we have, if we see here, we hover over the city. We have chop, build to prepare for the aqueduct, right? We want to pre-prepare for the aqueduct, which we're going to immediately start making our way towards. Because the second we get this aqueduct, it's 10 plus 10 production in the capital. Well, +5 based on the positioning of these around rivers, but still, it's insanely good. And I believe this aqueduct will count as being adjacent to a geothermal. It provides an extra amenity, which, so like this is all of these decisions are starting to link together. I believe if you look at the text here, it says cities that already have existing fresh water will instead get +2 housing if built adjacent to a geothermal fissure +1 amenity. So this is really, really powerful. Okay, let's get that kill there. Minor defeat. What if I get that kill? Nice. Okay, we killed him and we held the front line. I could even settle a bastion city here, a fortress city designed to hold the line. If I were to do that, it would look like this, this, and this. God, I would love to put a campus there, but this is where the encampment has to go. Dare I? If I have no way to capture his borders. I mean, if I were to settle, I guess this could be a campus if I settled a tile back. Then this could be the encampment, but that would require me to buy 2 tiles to there. Whereas if I settle here, and I encampment to here, and I aqueduct to here, and get a bunch of terrace farms in here that provide me with production and fortress, and this will just be a defensive city. designed to protect me from the advances of my enemies, and then I can crank out builders to send to improve the rest of my empire. Yeah, I like that plan. It provides me with a measure of security and protection in the long term, so that is the plan. Because I just don't like the idea of them being able to pour out straight into my capital. I definitely want a government plaza. I think I'm going to put my government plaza there because my diplomatic quarter is going to go there. And now I need to think about where my Colosseum is going to go, and it's probably going to go up here because I do absolutely want a Colosseum. Depends on what's to my north. That's really what it comes down to. Okay, let's clear the camp. The slinger took some damage. Let's retreat him away. Heal up you. See if you can't kill this. All right, I'd say things are stabilizing. We're going to forward settle Poland. Oh, all right, we lost a warrior there. It hurts when you lose a warrior, but the sacrifice was to kill a camp and prevent more unit spawning in my face. So I'm okay with that. We're not going to chop this settler. What we're going to do is we're going to queue up a second settler and chop that out. So I'm going to chop right now. Get that settler done a lot faster. Okay, what if I were to settle here? See if we can't make that work. I'll need more units pouring into the gap, but that's okay. Step away from the volcano and then fortify because you don't want this guy hitting you underneath a volcano ridge. Let's immediately grab Connoisseur. We need that to make up for the severe lack of culture that we have compared to the AI. So now when I refresh it in my capital, I'm making 9.9 culture per turn, which is starting to look really respectable. We have state workforce and early empire. I think military tradition is a pickup here just to give us the flanking and combat support bonuses. But then we're going to move straight into political philosophy so we can get our higher tier government. The slinger is in rough shape. That's fine. Can we settle this city? I'm hoping we can. I've fortified this warrior here in the face of this barb. I'm going to go ahead and place myself another terrace farm. I'm going to prioritize food and production in here over the faith. I already have a pantheon, so I don't need to work this pantheon. I would rather get the extra food to pump up growth. Let's swap these two slingers. You're going to keep retreating. You're going to go here to build another one of these. Our goal is to just get the city settled. If I can get the city down in here, then this garrison slinger will be able to do serious work, especially if I decide to divert to archery, which I'm going to do right now. Okay. We just need to get this city plonked, which means you need to survive 2 attacks, and you have support bonus +2 in defensive terrain. There's a good chance he survives. If he dies here, the game is hard. The game gets really, really hard if he dies. It is not over if he dies, though. Okay. He did survive. You're going to go ahead and found this city, Sausa. You're going to step in and become an archer. You're going to step back and become an archer there. So hopefully the city can survive. Let's continue on engineering. What can I sell to the AI? Nothing right now because I don't have any luxuries. Let's go ancient walls straight away and immediately research bronze working so we can slap down some kind of encampment and just start securing that border. Okay, retreat, advance. You take that tortoise promotion. Archer, start blasting. I need to exchange my gold for immediate gold. 2 GPT. You become an archer, you take battle cry, so you can actually attack more effectively. This might have been a terrible thing to do, is to settle this city, honestly. She doesn't have oligarchy yet, which means we're okay, and this guy just promoted, so if we can get him killed, it's fine. Where do I want to settle this city? I kind of want to settle on Pig, but if I settle closer this way, I get a better encampment, or a better campus rather, if I settle off the water. It's tempting to settle Pig, but I think settling here gets me into a better position. If I settle right there, I can aqueduct to here, can have myself a couple terrace farms around that aqueduct, getting me really nice growth. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, looks like they're actually pushing deep into my territory, which I'm kind of okay with. We did just get bronze working, meaning we can start the encampment when the time comes. I just can't afford the tile right now. Let's make sure we get kills. The iron here changes the decision matrix a little bit. What if I push the city 1 tile to the right? And we move the aqueduct 1 tile to the right. Do we want to move it right or left? I think here is still fine. I want to have aqueducts surrounded in hill farms, which means you fortify in place and we move you down there. And this gets replaced with a mine. I think this still works pretty well. Let's go ahead and finish engineering. Move up this warrior. He'll take a hit for me, as was his job. Fortify and make sure we damage the unit that's attacking him. Use my settler to settle my 3rd city, and now I've got a nice... Oh, this is actually on a different continent, believe it or not. And it looks like we are to the north of jungle, which is kind of interesting. But more importantly, we now have a triangle of loyalty, right? A muscle of loyalty that is all protecting each other. In this city, more than anything, we need builders. My empire right now just needs builders, so we're going to get those. Like, culture is hard to come by, for sure. Builder, 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 builder is everything to me right now. Okay, nice. This guy's taking damage, but we are going to be able to kill you and thus shove you back slightly. Make sure we're damaging these chariots. You're fortified. Get that promotion. We have the ancient walls in Cusco, which means we're 1 turn away from engineering buffs. We super need gold. Oh my fuck. That is devastating. That's grim. Jesus. The temptation to reload is so high right now, but we will persevere. I can't believe I had it all set up and prepped and it went all Pete Tong. Well, I guess this makes me make some new decisions over here, because what I will do is an aqueduct to here with a terrace farm and then a campus here. And then if I fill these 4 tiles with crossbowmen or archers and districts, this becomes basically impenetrable. Because the sheer amount of damage like being crapped out into here is fine. So I think this is how I will set it up. Make sure we lock down all these stuff. So we are planning out our empire a little bit here around things happening that I was hoping wouldn't happen. Ugh. I guess in theory it means one of these tiles can be a holy site at some point if I want to do the extra growth and amenities. Okay, I know something in here wants a watermill. That's construction. Capital has plenty of room for growth. I'm going to put a turn into a builder because builders right now are what I need to improve all my tiles. Okay, Sausa is now officially taking damage, which I do not like. So I can do damage or I can get the garrison. I think the garrison will do me better in the long run. There's the aqueduct. I hate this, but it's fine. We'll aqueduct to here as we planned. We'll rework all this land. Ugh. I'll go for monuments in my new city. I think that actually makes more sense than a builder, and I'll get the builders out of my capital to help develop those faster. Really, tall versus wide is like when and how you get your builders. Early builders equals tall, basically. All right, may as well have astrology unlocked so that we can place holy sites if we choose. She is willing to make peace, which I'm going to take right now because that's 10 turns that I don't have to deal with her attacking my bullshit. I still haven't even dealt with all the barbs around my empire. And there is a catastrophic eruption down there, which is something. God, I really hate this Sausa city. Is there a way to make it better? There is in theory. If I can sell all of this and buy my way to this tile real quick. Warrior there. So we'll just defend that with these for now. Okay, I have builders coming out of my capital. I do need to get the government plaza, but I don't want to spend the money on that just yet. We're not in a major rush to get that. You stay fortified. Step into Ollantaytambo to defend it. And this is what I would consider to be perfect defensive posture. This guy can be attacked only from 2 tiles, at least in melee. The city can only be attacked by 1. Theoretically, I can circle this guy back a tile and this guy back a tile, and then I have 2 tiles that can be attacked, the city can be attacked from, but 1 tile that can't be put under siege. So there are some upsides there. +1 era score. There's astrology. Excellent. We're also getting political philosophy. We can pick our government. I do think tall favors either autocracy if you're going for wonders or classical republic if you're going for districts. I think classical republic is the play here for me. Let's plug in the settler, builder, and production card, and we will also plug in charismatic leader so we can get passive influence points. Let's get that iron online because it is actually a boost here, ironworking, and we want to get as many boosts as we can. That is valuable to us. Right, we'll get this kill on this barb, and we're starting to clean up, and actually Poland is spreading their religion to me as long as it doesn't have crusade. Okay, no crusade. That's totally acceptable. We do need to get to universities and education and all that stuff, and it would have been nice to have built Apadana, but you know how it is. Let's get some more builders. Let's stabilize and try to get some more scouting done with these units over here when the time comes. We need to improve these tiles. I need plantation tech, so I'm going to grab irrigation because irrigation will give me access to plantations as well as the ability to clear marsh and harvest bananas, although it's not particularly relevant to me right now. And I would really like to get construction. The problem is I don't really have many flat tiles around here. The closest flat tiles are up here to the north or to the south. And if I do a rangefinder, in theory, in Ollantaytambo, I could chop out a sick as hell Colosseum. If I look at the city overlap here, it would force me to settle more southernly, but it would at least hit these 3 cities. So I think I am going to do a builder-based Colosseum play in Ollantaytambo. Considering I have to chop out all these tiles anyway, sending builders down there to get that underway seems pretty reasonable. And I'm going for a lot of builders anyway. But yeah, Colosseum is really nice for tall and wide play, but really, really, really nice for tall, because tall is really all about amenities, of which I have -/too few of. But we will get that fixed. All right, let's keep on getting builders. Builder, 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 builder. Spam out builders for now. Okay, I want to sell some more of my iron. I love selling iron for cash because it means I can buy this tile. And now I just need to buy this tile. And I've basically secured this city a spot in the Pantheon of Gods because it's a +6 campus right there. I may go encampment first for security. I will go in monument first too, purely to get my civics faster. Finally, we can do some exploring, although I really hope Scythia isn't to my south/east. But yeah, we're finally getting a moment to breathe in this game. It took 69 turns, hey-oh, for us to get to a point where I could go and take a breath. I may also actually quickly get a trader in this city and then next turn work on the government plaza. I'm gonna chop some stuff out. In particular, we want to be chopping out builders because we have production multipliers to builders. So we'll chop there, we'll get that builder out. We'll remove this quarry because there is an aqueduct going there, and we may as well chop out another builder after this. Because this way I turn 1 build charge into 3 build charges with a chop, which accelerates the rate of my build quite a bit. There is somebody to my north, so I am quite glad that I'm planning this Colosseum to the south because I can't settle north anymore. Who is that? Ugh, Grand Columbia. Okay, I'm just surrounded by warmongers, and I don't love it. Harvest, get those down, then grab the trader and aqueduct as we had planned. So everything inside this white area right now is actually extremely valuable for me to settle. Which means a settlement over here is definitely on the cards. I just haven't fully decided where and when and why. Stat check, I'm really behind the AI, but I shouldn't have too hard of a time catching up over time. Oh, good grief, that is a lot of shit up there. Okay, right. You've too many build charges to be risked. You do this, you move here and be turned into an archer. You move north to protect. I don't have enough units for all. I still just, like, I love how these guys are like, oh, Grand Columbia? Never mind. Welcome to Playerville. Because I 100% believe with every ounce of my heart that barbarians love nothing more than to attack players. I think Ollantaytambo is going to be a very important city to me, so I'm going to put a trader in there to help it grow. And in Sousa, I'm going to buy this final useful tile, and then we're just going to let the city slowly churn out itself. I could chop to get the aqueduct faster. I don't think I need to at this point. Instead, I'm going to chop to settle. Builders just accelerate you so much. They're so important. I am going to put a single envoy into Antananarivo because the +1 culture in my capital is really nice. That'll get multiplied by 15% thanks to Pingala. Also, the bonus from Antananarivo is actually quite good. Now, I do need to get my campuses up because I'm super behind on campus, but that's just going to have to be a process that I work my way through. So he killed himself upon my slinger, which is sort of ideal. All right, where am I settling here? I guess it would be nice to maybe settle slightly more northernly because that leaves more room for cities to the south. So I'm thinking right here on this tile, although if I settle, really it's going to depend on where I think my campus is going to go. If I put my campus here and I settle here, that's like, this is a sick as hell aqueduct. We're talking terrace farms for days around this. But then, where's the next city going? Here? What if I moved my city, what if I moved my aqueduct down like this? I want to get 2 industrial zones, I think, or at least 1. Ideally 2, I think. And so if we do this kind of an industrial zone, now this is a lot less terrace farms, but it is, yeah, honestly, no dice. I think the terrace farms are just way too good, considering the amount of food and production they give you. So we're just going to plan our empire like this. Not a problem. Let's get that plantation up. We've already chopped it. Always chop your luxuries. Listen, I don't think I need to tell you. You chop your luxuries because stuff now is better than stuff later. Always, okay? Provided you can turn that stuff into more stuff. That is the one caveat that I will add to that. All right, let's have a look at what tiles the capital is working. I do think we should improve this tile, or at least unlock it, but I'm going to take the improve it option. We're going to trade with the capital for 2 food, 1 production. And then with the next load of gold that I can scrounge up from anyone, I'm going to buy the tile for the aqueduct or rather the government plaza. But I think I'm going to go aqueduct into government plaza now and set myself up for those better trade routes. Also, I just want the amenity from the aqueduct too. All right, but I feel like I've stabilized a little bit here. And once I get these 2 cities down, I'll feel a lot better. Honestly, I should focus on getting those cities out now. The faster I get those cities out, the better. The more delaying I do, the worse. The worse it ends up for me. All right, so boom. Yeah, I know I said that wrong, okay? I don't give up. But let's chop the truffles, boom. That will get us the monument. We start the entertainment complex immediately, although there's something to be said for getting this granary. We need to just chop out this city to get it going, honestly, which means builders, 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 which is kind of the hard part. We're in a builder crunch. And builder crunch is not a nice cereal, okay? It's not a tasty meal. It's a real problem that empires experience, okay? Okay, we chop to finish the granary. We get the camp up. Loving it. Bop, 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 bop. How dare they choose such a generic phrase as their campaign slogan to forever infest my mind. Let's go aqueduct. Yeah, government plaza. I actually prefer getting those online first. It's a tall game. Classical era ends soon. No, he's settling me. He's forward settling me. Well, hopefully he doesn't go any further than this. All right, you get that entertainment complex going. Let me worry about the rest. That's rough, dude. I'm glad I canceled that settler because Jesus, the AI has boxed me in. I'm glad I went for a tall game. I may have to conquer my way out of this issue. Although, you know, it might be fun to see what we can do with a small empire. It's not small, okay? It's just compact. Okay, it's the angle. Makes it look so small. All right, we're going to harvest here. Boom. But I do think getting the aqueduct first in this city is more important than the entertainment complex because this city really needs the production from it. Like, really needs it. And there is also something to be said for not going for that in this city and instead going for just hill farms and using the mountains for production. Because, yeah, I think this is just better for the city. Don't get the aqueduct in Sausa. It doesn't make logical sense. Look at the granary soon. Okay, moving forward, we need to start making our way towards education for science. Just need to get everything. Need builders. Defensive tactics. Classical era ends. I think, though, once we get the city down, we've got a pretty riveting game. Real talk, no cap, on a stack. For real, for real. We're definitely going to take Researcher with Pangala. We want that +1 science per turn for each citizen. We are super boxed in as the Incan Empire, but this is where I excel, okay? I was forged in the Thunderdome of Civ. We're going to settle the tea. Spiff would be proud. And we got ourselves our national park shaped tiny, this is like a tiny home, but it's an empire. We might be able to squeeze a city in there. Maybe. See what we can do. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!